Hi, and welcome to an Organized Chaos podcast. I'm Bobby Quarters. Chaos is here with me as well. We just wanted to thank you for watching.
Yes. Hey, Bobby.
And hey, and while you're here, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. You could follow me on YouTube as well as Chaos and the podcast channel, which all three of those channels will be streaming this very show you're about to watch. All these counselors start dropping dead, left and right. Heinous killings. Turns out, that kid who drowned the year before, his mother came back to that camp and exacted revenge.
I can't do it. Okay. We'll do it live.
Okay.
We'll do it live. Fuck it. Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live. Right. Fucking thing sucks.
Thank you, Mr. O'Reilly, Mr. Bill O'Reilly.
Thank you,
for
William.
Introducing us. Yes, William. I know you're a piece of shit, but thank you, William. Anyway, how you doing, Bobby?
I'm okay. How are you?
I am. I just wrapped up all our watching, so I'm rushing in here, trying to get stuff set up. But I'm good.
I had a super binge yesterday, and I wrapped it up this morning.
So nice. Yeah, I was pretty much all caught up. I saw most of Daredevil throughout the week, and then the last two episodes I ended up putting off. And then I saw Captain America on Saturday, and then I saw Love Hurts on Sunday.
Super Sunday.
Yes.
Nice.
Well, the theaters were empty because I think everybody was watching a Kendrick Lamar concert.
You mean that live roast of Drake?
Yeah.
Yes.
But
Cool.
theaters were obviously empty, so it was actually a good time to go. And then and then pretty much I got home at 4, and I was like, I still have 2 episodes of Daredevil left to watch. That I got most way through earlier in the week. Then just didn't finish it.
I split it in half.
Mm-hmm.
I watched half, and then I went to the theater, and I watched the rest of, I watched Love Hurts, and then I came home, and maybe watched the last quarter of the game.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
Which is I'll just see how's it going. Oh, holy shit! Okay.
Hey Chuck. Hey wow.
Hey Chuck. Hey wow.
But
and then I just watched half of Captain America: Winter Soldier last night, and I watched the other half this morning.
Well, we'll be talking about that. We'll be talking about Love Hurts, and we'll be talking about the middle section of Daredevil. So it's 2/3 of Marvel stream.
Yeah.
Of course, we're doing all Well, not all Captain. We're doing all Marvel next week because we'll be wrapping up. Yeah, we're wrapping up Spider-Man, and then we got 2 Captain America movies. That's fun.
Yeah.
But I think we can go ahead and segue right into this. Captain America: The Winter Soldier. This has got to be my favorite Captain America movie.
Agreed. This is up there with one of my favorite of all times.
Yeah, no,
just
so good
because it's. I think this one is it's a bit more than just your typical superhero or action movie. It's kind of almost like a spy espionage movie as well.
Yeah, no, that's the thing. If you replace this Captain America with
Jack Ryan,
something like that.
I'll totally be in.
Just as good movie.
I'm in. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Just as good of a movie, yeah. Like,
Yeah,
seriously.
this is just a great movie, but they have Captain America in there, and I love Chris Evans' Captain America. I think he does a great job with the character, a character that could be very boring, and like I think he does a good job making you like his character. And then this one also introduces Anthony Mackie as Sam Wilson, and one thing I really wanted to point out, like it won't been so easy. So like there's obviously the big beginning action scene on Lumerian Star, which is phenomenal, by the way. I love that action scene where they're going on that ship and Captain America's just taking out those terrorists one by one. Just great action. But that's not quite the opening of the movie. This movie opens with a very just like Sam and Steve doing laps, and it's kind of like this joke where like Steve keeps on running around Sam, essentially on your left, and Sam's like, "Shut the fuck up! I know you're on my left." But those two just have like chemistry instantly, and like you believe their friendship, even though they're just meeting. It's like that's a friendship.
Now here's something I wonder. Do you think maybe he and Natasha already had tabs on him? Like they already knew about the suit and everything? Like Steve knew he would be there. Yeah. Do you think they already had their eye to recruit him?
No, I don't think so. I mean, Natasha, you could argue something, but I don't know about that. I don't think Steve knew. Oh.
Okay. I was wondering about that while I was watching it.
Yeah,
I was watching thinking, like, do they already know each other? Because they're acting very familiar with each other.
Mm-hmm.
It was just something that I had never picked up on last time I watched it.
Yeah. So, and I have to say, unfortunately, watching this movie, I have to say, very unfortunately, I feel like this movie's become unbelievably timely at this moment because, so Captain America. Well, first of all, before I get into how freaking disturbingly how this movie really hits differently today's day and age, I remember before this movie came out, everybody was like, they did the first Avenger, and everybody was like, well, Captain America is a character that works in World War II, but he could never work in modern day. And I just love when this movie came out, everybody shut up about that because, essentially, Captain America beats up Nazis. And in World War II, he beat up Nazis. And here, he beats up Nazis.
Yeah.
He just found out, oh, look, part of a government institution that's completely infiltrated by Nazis and politicians. They are infiltrated by Nazis. I better punch them. But yes. But yeah, that's also why this hits quite a bit differently. Like just complete fascism takeover is like, oh God. I hope it doesn't get this dark, but Jesus Christ. This is kind of a disturbing window of what America might be like. But I'm already planning an essay on this because I just watched it. I was like, God, not only is this movie so good, I mean, I feel like maybe I need to rewatch Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 and decide which one's my favorite MCU movie. Because, like, I love both. This one and Guardians 3 are just movies I love. I need to determine which one's my favorite because they're just so good. But, Molly, what are your thoughts?
I like I said, I really just enjoy the espionage and the spy aspect of this movie. It's just, I feel it differs than most MCU, even differs than most Cap movies too. Because I'll say Civil War definitely plays out more as like a political drama. Not so, this one kind of does a little, but not as much as Civil War. But I like how Civil War balances that out though too.
Yeah, Civil War is a bit more political, whereas this one's a bit more of a spy thriller, I would say.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really like how these Captain America movies execute that quite nicely. I also felt watching this, like, it just reminds me of honestly, it reminds me of a lot of this time period and when I first watched this movie, and I thought to myself, you know, this is probably the dark superhero shit that Zack Snyder wishes he could do.
Yeah.
Like, this is actually like a dark superhero movie. And, you know, always seems like, you know, Zack Snyder's going for the dark, gritty realism. But it's like, well, they just outdid you again, Zack. You know, you gotta do it with the story. I have to say.
No, he's just gonna like, you know, have some rain, some slow motion.
Yeah, slow-mo rain.
And like
putting their hand in a field.
It'll be black and white footage, and then it, you know, like people will think it's deep and moving.
Yes.
Yeah.
We'll throw some grain on the ground and do it in slow-mo so you can clearly see the seeds landing. It'll be beautiful.
Put like a tasteful rock
won't mean anything, but yes.
Yeah, a tasteful rock ballad behind it, you know.
But yeah, this is I don't know if I can praise this movie enough. I love Robert Redford as the villain.
Yeah.
He
was a really good son of a
shit.
bitch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sitwell was kind of sad because he was in a couple MCU movies, and then I know he was a recurring character on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. because I actually watched Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. when this movie was on. And yeah, finding out he's a Nazi, it's like, oh, Sitwell, you piece of shit. Yeah, Pat Rock the Leaper. Yeah, so this movie, it has good action. Oh, and something else I have to praise about this movie, the score. I love the score for this movie.
Yeah.
Henry Jackman does a great job here. He's one of those composers that, like, whenever he pops up, it's like a great score. Are we already circling around? No, we haven't seen that. I like Scarlett Johansson. I like Sebastian Stan in this. This is just a great fucking movie. I love obviously I love the political intrigue. I love Captain America beating up Nazis. I like the interpersonal story between Sam and Cap, and between Cap and Natasha as well. Them essentially learning to trust each other, especially after Cap learns that this whole agency that he's been working for is actually just fucking Nazis.
Yeah.
I and that's the other thing I think this movie does really well. Like the Russos and I want to say, was it Stephen McFeely and Christopher Marcus? I want to say, is that it? Yeah, Christopher Marcus and Stephen McFeely, the screenwriters, they understand Captain America. I feel like they understand, because what this movie does differently than a lot of other superhero movies is, rather than like give like their superhero an arc, because Cap doesn't really have much of an arc here, other than, you know, realizing there's Nazis. What the story is essentially, the world's fucked up, and Steve has to change it. So the world has an arc in this movie. S.H.I.E.L.D. has to fall apart. Nick Fury has to rethink what he does. And it's just handled really well. Great action. Everything I have to say about this movie is really a positive. I'm sure I could dig up some negatives, but I kind of don't want to, because I just really like this movie.
Well, there really aren't much negatives you could say about this.
No.
Like, this is still like arguably like probably one of the best of the early Marvel films.
Oh, easily. I know for a long time this was number one for me. Best MCU movie. And as far as Marvel movies overall, yeah, there's still Spider-Man 2 in my heart, but yeah.
This is the one that got me super hooked on the MCU.
Mm-hmm. I can see that too, because this is just it was a different take for the MCU even, and it did a really good job with it. It had like some big impact on the overall MCU world with the fall of S.H.I.E.L.D., which I thought was kind of a bold move, but they execute it really well. Yeah, this is just a great fucking movie.
Yeah, and after that,
guys, if you haven't seen Winter Soldier, watch Winter Soldier.
Yeah, seriously, if you haven't watched this one, check this one out.
It does have me excited to see what Brave New World will be like.
Also, we get like an appearance from Toby Huss too. So
Toby Huss,
or not Toby Huss? The number one, the guy who brainwashed him. He's right there. Toby Jones.
Oh, Toby. Oh, yeah, Toby Jones. Absolutely.
That's
yeah.
it. That's
as a
it.
computer.
Not Toby
Yeah.
Huss. Not Toby Huss, but Toby Jones. Yeah.
Yes. He comes back briefly as a computer in this one, which is such a comic book thing, but I kind of love it. I know people people will be like, oh, the comic book thing doesn't work. It's like, it's a comic book movie. It's allowed some comic book leeway. Come on, guys.
I loved it so much. I wrote it into my James Bond pitch.
Nice.
Like, I loved it so much. And also, I believe I cast him to play that similar role because I loved it so much.
He would nail it. I mean, he's just an exposition machine. He's literally an exposition machine in this movie, and I love it.
He pretty much was exposition. All of what I cast him in for that, which is a backlog episode. You could find that on the channel. Check that one out.
I have to disagree with you, E. Philman, because actually, this movie is actually very clear if you watch it. They explain that Hydra is just the science division of Nazi Germany. So Hydra is Nazis in this one. Now they might have different variations as far as history, but as far as this movie is concerned, Hydra are Nazis. But yeah, I love this movie. I'm trying to think. There's probably other things I want to add. But you know what, guys? I am planning an essay on this, so you'll probably get some more. So keep an eye out for that. But yeah, great movie. Anything you want to add, Bobby? Or should we go on to Daredevil? Yeah, fucking amazing movie.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I just wanted to say, like, there's a line that Sam Wilson has in here that I think is, like, perfect. Kind of really got me pumped for the new Captain America. Essentially, his line is, he just points at Steve and just says, I do what he does, but slower.
Yeah.
He's like, nice. But you know, yeah, we'll stay in the Marvel wheelhouse for a bit longer and talk about Daredevil. So it's been like a year since we covered the first 4 episodes of season 2.
Yeah, I definitely.
And now it's on Daredevil. Yeah, and now, yeah, I did too. And now, Born Again is like on our doorstep really quickly. And it's like, oh shit, I should probably get through the rest of Daredevil.
Yeah, we need to race through this at breakneck speed.
Yes. Now, this was also the set of episodes that introduced Elektra, who, like, pretty much the big new characters this season are obviously Elektra and Punisher. And we got a whole bunch of Punisher in the first 4 episodes, which John Bernthal's performance is fantastic in this. And but then we get introduced to Elektra, and this set is a bit more Elektra focused, although Punisher, essentially, it's we get a bit more Elektra and slowly get introduced to the Hand. But we also get the trial of the Punisher and the meeting of Punisher and Kingpin. Honestly, all good stuff. Honestly, I remember the Elektra stuff being worse than what it is. I kind of like how she's like this insane ex-girlfriend of Matt, who was just convincing him to do stuff that honestly he shouldn't be doing, and take him away from like Foggy and Karen. I kind of like that aspect, and also the aspect that like she didn't want to be that person, but that's just kind of who she is. I kind of like that aspect, but I can also sense we're definitely leaning further into the Hand stuff, and I remember just not being fond of the Hand stuff at all. So we'll see how that goes. And yeah, essentially, Elektra pops up. She is luring Matt away from a lot of the Punisher stuff. Of course, Punisher's kind of shooting himself in the foot, almost certainly on purpose. But they talk to the DA. They get a good deal for the number of crimes he has. And then he decides, fuck it, I'm not taking the deal, and I'm pleading not guilty. And it's like, okay, Frank, you do you. What do you think of this set of episode, Bobby?
I really am enjoying where we left off. I'm excited to dive back into it. I really enjoyed the trial aspect.
Yes.
With that. I'm really wanting us to get to like get to see Punisher fully unleashed, because we kind of got a little tease of it in the prison scene where he just killed an entire cell block by himself.
I mean, that's got to be the highlight episode. Like overall, I liked all these episodes, but like when we got to the episode where Kingpin was introduced, and then we see Kingpin essentially building up how his like prison empire, how there's a couple of guys who are kind of they're kind of not part of the main prison community, and he contacts his lawyer and finds out the name of their mother and says, "Hey, make sure her rent is paid indefinitely." And then suddenly he has a couple bodyguards walking around with him wherever he goes. It's like, oh, this is how you work. But he gets a hold of Punisher and has Punisher essentially take out the guy who's in charge of the prison. But then he locks him up to kill him. You know, just lets all the other criminals out and lets Punisher, in there to die by their hands. And that's not what happens, because he's fucking Punisher and he wastes all of them, which is just a wild fucking scene. And yeah, so essentially Frank Castle, we got Frank Castle and Wilson Fisk facing off a little bit, and Wilson does kind of kick the crap out of him. But Frank Castle also got a handle on who the fuck this guy is. It's like, this guy's fucking bad news. But yeah, I'm interested to wrap up the season in a couple weeks. But yeah, I will say, like, I remember the Electro stuff being a bit more of a drag, and I thought it was fine here. Better than I remember. Maybe I'm hoping I have better feelings towards the Hand, but I'm not gonna lie. Nobu was introduced at the end of the last episode, and I was just kind of like, oh no, just instinctually, just no.
Yeah.
But can we do more stuff with Punisher?
That was kind of my reaction to like, oh.
Do we have to? Can we do something besides the Hand? Can we do the foot? The foot's fun. Can we?
Okay.
We have to fight Shredder.
I mean, same universe, so it would work.
But yeah. Yeah, I like this set. Anything you want to add, Bobby?
Oh, what did the Bizarre Adventurer do?
Oh, he's asking about Tyrone. So he is an Eric July fanboy. If you don't know the full mythology, Tyrone is the person who is raising my kids, according to Eric July.
Wow. Now, that's the guy who called you the fake Irishman, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, traditionally, when you win a debate, what you do is you go on for 2 hours and just spout lies about the other person's family life.
Yeah.
That's a sign that you did really well.
That's right. I remember that. And I also remember thinking the guy had no brass, because if he wanted to insult you for being Irish, he could just call you a horse thief. But but that's just me calling. That's just me busting my friend's chops, though.
Oh, there's a difference.
Yeah.
Hey. While we're all here, guys, make sure to like and subscribe.
Yeah.
Especially you, Garfield's Bizarre Adventure.
Yes.
Make sure to like and subscribe to the stream, dude. On all 3 channels: Organized Chaos Podcast, Bobby Quarters, and Organized Chaos.
Down on all the channels.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he's only in timeout. He can come back if he wants, but yeah, maybe he'll behave.
Nicer than me. He'd be nicer than me.
If I don't recognize your name, I usually just put you in timeout when you start shit, and then if you continue, then I'll just be like, okay, I'm sick of it. And if you spam it. Oh yeah, Vincent D'Onofrio. Well, I think it's worth saying all the performances here are good, but yeah, I definitely think Vincent D'Onofrio and John Bernthal are the biggest standouts for me. I love John Bernthal's Punisher. Just his performance. He makes it very believable that he's kind of this semi-psycho dude who goes out and kills a whole bunch of people. I believe it. And yeah, Vincent D'Onofrio. The second he was cast as Kingpin, I was like, oh, he's gonna be good. And then when I actually saw it, I was like, yeah, he's fucking good. But yes, excited to wrap up this season. Also excited to get into Born again. Because honestly, yeah, I just brought up how freaking Winter Soldier was kind of like, I felt like that was what, kind of like, Zack Snyder, like it was almost Marvel's response to Zack Snyder's dark DC takes. But Daredevil is also that too, and it's much better than, again, Zack Snyder's dark DC takes, because Daredevil and Captain America Winter Soldier actually understand the point of darker tones and themes and how to use them properly to elevate your story rather than just looking cool. I liked Michael Clark Duncan as Fisk as well. I will say, if we're going back to the original Daredevil movie, I absolutely love Colin Farrell chewing the scenery as Bullseye. That was just such a hammy performance that I loved it. I guess anything you want to add, Bobby, before we go to Love Hurts?
No. I'm excited that we're gonna get back into it. Liking to see, because I it's been a while since I've seen this season, so I'm excited to get back into it.
Mm-hmm. But that brings us to the brand new movie this week, Love Hurts, starring Ke Huy Quan as well. If you've seen the trailers, it's kind of like he has a dark past. You can kind of figure, something criminal for sure that involves violence.
Yeah.
And yeah, I guess minor spoilers, but this is all shit you learn fairly early. He's a former hitman who's kind of retired, and he's decided to take on a new life as a realtor. I know lots of people are panning this, but I'll go ahead and say it. I actually enjoyed this for what it was.
Why are people panning it?
I don't know. Well, I've read a little bit, and one of the criticisms I will say is kind of valid. I did see people saying they didn't buy the relationship between Marvin and Rose. And I will say, yeah, I wasn't quite on board with that either.
Okay, yeah. I'll give them that. That's a fair criticism.
But I mean, there's also stuff in this where it's like, and the criticism I would also throw at is like the I think it's this guy, the other realtor. It's like this, he's definitely a joke. Well, there's lots of joke characters here. Let me make that clear.
Yeah.
This is a very silly movie. It's a very violent, very bloody, very silly movie. And I really like the idea behind it. Essentially, it's called Love Hurts. And it's a lot of it is about love. Almost all the characters have some sort of relationship or something that they love that's involved. Mm-hmm. And it's about how that love causes them quite literal physical pain in this movie. And I like that element of it. I thought that was kind of a fun thing to play with. But it's also a very silly movie, and to give you an idea of how silly it is, the main villain weapon of choice is a boba straw. And I'm not gonna lie, it's so stupid. I kind of love it.
And he also has a never-ending supply of his favorite boba drink.
Yes.
That I also thought was hilarious.
Yes, this is not this is a movie that is like, it's not real. Oh yeah, and I was gonna go into my other criticism, which is so like they have this joke character who's this competing realtor whose gag is that he's a karate black belt. I thought they were actually gonna do something kind of fun with that, and they really don't. He just dies unceremoniously. Minor spoilers. I was expecting them to do something with him, and they really didn't.
Like, I thought they were going to introduce him and like have him be a little mean to Marvin.
Yeah.
But no, we don't see him at all. Like, we find out it's him who's making the silly mustaches on the signs and billboards. But no, later turned out to be Rose.
That's actually Rose.
Yeah, I know that. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Here.
That's what I was thinking. Like, it was going to be revealed to be him to do that.
Yeah.
No. We only find this guy later. And, oh, they're actual friends. Okay.
And then he dies very, very quickly.
Like,
it's
just.
Yeah. It's like, I feel like you guys probably should have thought something a bit more to do with him, because it seemed like funny idea. Because like, there's even there's
I
even a
laughed out loud in
conversation.
the theater. Yeah, I thought it was
When-
hilarious. But
when Ashley and Marvin are talking, it's like, she's like, you're out competing him, but you need to be careful, like, or something comes up about like them being in a fight, and she's like, "Oh, be careful. He's a black belt. He could kick your ass."
yeah,
And
he thinks it's him who's defacing his signs.
Yeah.
And she's like, yeah, and he's like, "What, are you kidding? He's a black belt. He'll destroy you. What, you don't think I'll do it?"
Yeah. And he's like, "Eh."
And
of course,
and then later,
obviously, no, that wouldn't go down that way.
Then she comes in to find out that he just whooped the ever living crap out of a dude in his office.
Yes. So that's how we get kind of introduced to Marvin's past life. This dude, the Raven dude here, goes to visit him in his office. And yeah, he is an assassin essentially sent to take him out. And yeah, he obviously he loves blades. That's the thing. Like, I feel like if you take this movie too seriously, you could be like, oh yeah, there's so much bad about this. But like very quickly in there, I wasn't take this seriously. Like the Raven is like throwing, like he has like these darts and these knives all over that he throws at Marvin. And very quickly in the movie, like Marvin grabs one of the darts and throws it at him, but he obviously doesn't know how to throw it. So it just kind of goes like halfway across the room, then drifts down to the floor. just the whole movie pauses for a second just so we can watch that, which is hilarious. It's like, I don't know how you watch that and think this is supposed to be a serious movie, but that's the only thing I can think of is why this is really getting panned. It's not flawless. But this is a goofy, fun movie. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I enjoyed this. It was just a fun movie.
And then you can say Marvin and Rose don't have a believable relationship, but like then the Raven and Ashley, who's working with Marvin, end up having a relationship, and it is so bonkers and insane. I kind of dug that. It made almost no sense. I was kind of 100% down for it.
Yeah, I was like, okay, I'm here for this.
Because yeah, he's like Raven's this assassin, and like she stumbles into like his book of poetry and reads it, and she thinks he's dead because he's lying unconscious on the floor, and then he ends up not being dead, and then she's like, "Your poetry is beautiful. You speak to my soul. This is wonderful." And they go on. Essentially, they go to Marvin's, but like she goes there because like she wants to stop Raven from killing Marvin, but then she also has to bring Marvin his paperwork so he can make the deal for the house. And I do kind of like the how they play a little bit with like how his two lives are meeting. Another gag I thought they could have gone further with was he got that Realtor of the Year award, which is just a silly piece of paper and just a plain old glass frame, nothing fancy. But like he gets attacked by two assassins and he's about ready to get away, but he doesn't get away because he realizes he left that award, so he goes back to grab it, and then he ends up back in a fight with them, and that award goes through some decent shit before it finally gets broken. But like, I kind of like the gag of maybe just him having that for a lot of the movie, and somehow it just survives like everything. Yeah. I thought they kind of played with that further. It still kind of works, but like they definitely kind of played with that a bit further because I like that gag. I can't explain to you how dinky this award is. It's just a printed out thing, standard glass frame, nothing fancy. But obviously Marvin loved it, so I was like, okay, I can get behind that. Yeah,
it meant a lot.
Yeah, it meant something to him, and it's like that's kind of sweet.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would say, don't listen to the reviews. Give this movie a shot. I would say if you put on that trailer, if you watch the trailer for this and think this looks like fun, go give it a shot. I thought this was
it jumps into the action very quickly.
Yeah,
and it goes all the way until the end.
Breezy movie too. Like, how long is this? This is
hour and a half.
Nothing. Yeah, it does not overstay its welcome at all. It is just. And a lot,
and it's just the right amount over. It's the right amount of over
hour 23. Yeah, it is not. Yeah. So there's like, if you're looking for a movie with no extra fat, this is it. 1 hour 23 minutes. But really, it goes through all the points it needs to. If you want to argue Rose and Marvin should have a better relationship, I agree. This isn't a flawless movie, but I enjoy it. Hell, I thought number one, I like how Marvin and Cliff, Sean Astin, are kind of like they see each other as brothers in the realtor life, and when I saw that, I was like, oh, the Goonie guys are still brothers. I like that reference there, but honestly, even though they don't get much time together, like I liked Cliff briefly, and I think they do a good job with that, and I think they do a good job with the idea of like because the main villain here is Marvin's biological brother, who essentially just uses him as a weapon. But I like the idea of like the adoptive brother being more family than his real brother. Yeah, listen, not a perfect movie, but there's definitely more good than bad. This is fun.
Yeah, definitely.
And hello,
check
Nicholas.
This one out.
Yeah. Hey, Nick. Yeah, give this one a shot. Don't listen to reviews. Give it a shot. If nothing else, enjoy somebody who enjoys attacking people with boba straw. Like, yeah, I did not know how often he would use that thing, and I was kind of down for it.
It was just like, it was pretty great, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I guess that's it. Anything you want to add before we start signing out?
No. Let's see what we got next week.
I know we got Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man next week.
Yeah,
and then we got Captain America double feature, Civil War and Brave New World.
Yeah, Civil War, and then we get to go to Brave New World.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. And then we get the incomparable Steel.
Oh yeah, that I was messing around with it, but yeah, that should be coming up pretty soon because we need more great trash. And I got comic book polls up for next for next Thursday, DC book. Make sure to go check that out. Make sure to like and subscribe all the channels. Bobby Quarters, Organized Chaos Podcast, Organized Chaos. Yeah, I think that's it.
So we're approaching 200 episodes here soon.
That is true. Yeah, we were talking about what to do on 200.
So we're kicking around a couple of ideas here.
Yeah.
The one that we're thinking of is we're gonna put a poll up maybe. And probably we're gonna maybe break it down to 5 movies. That's that's what we've had. That's what we have right now.
We should probably do 4 because most polls do 4. Most polls have a 4 limit, unfortunately.
4, yeah. So we'll have to cut one. I think I know the one that we'll cut.
What ones were you looking at?
The ones I was looking at was Cutthroat Island, Battlefield Earth, Pluto Nash, Catwoman, and Leonard Part 6. So we can cut Leonard Part 6 is what I was thinking.
I was thinking Cutthroat Island.
Okay, yeah, we'll cut that one then.
Simply because I've seen it before.
Okay.
It was definitely a box office bomb, and it was expensive, so it's one of those famous movies that they definitely overspent on it. But it's not terrible.
Okay.
We could maybe watch it over underappreciated because I don't know, maybe I'd rewatch and be like, this sucks. But as I recall, it's decent. As I recall, it's like the same team that did Long Kiss Goodnight, if I remember correctly.
Okay, yeah.
Which, that's if you haven't seen Long Kiss Goodnight, that one's awesome.
That is a great movie, yes.
Mm-hmm. And Cutthroat Island is not that good, but it is the same team, so it's not similar vibes.
So, all right, then those 4, then Battlefield Earth, Pluto Nash, Catwoman, and Leonard Part 6.
Mm-hmm. And so at some point we'll put up a poll and figure it out. But
but those are the 4. So we're gonna poll the audience and let you guys pick, and we'll watch it and talk about it.
Mm-hmm. And 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 if you guys have any suggestions of things you'd like us to talk about for 200th episode, absolutely comment and let us know, and we will kick it around. I'm trying to think. We do have quite a bit of time for 200th episode because this is 188, I want to say.
Yeah,
so we got a couple months actually, but we are getting there, guys, and it'll be kind of wild. 200 of these. I mean, holy crap!
Yeah,
it's awesome. But guys, anything you want to add, Bobby, before I sign us out?
No, I'm good.
Guys, thank you so much for joining us. Like, subscribe, all 3 channels. Party on, be excellent to each other. I got a solo stream on Thursday, and then I'm sure there'll be some sort of initiative thing on Wednesday. I'm not going to be on it because I have my kids a lot this week. In fact, Thursday, I'm trying to think of something to do with the kids on stream, so it's not just me by myself. But I don't know yet. But yes, that's the plan. So thank you for joining us. Party on. Be excellent to each other.
Take care.